Bro, you are lean.
I have never been this lean before. This is me, last year at what I think is the closest I've gotten to my dream physique. And while other people may set a goal of getting much larger or more jacked, this was 90% of what I ever hoped I would look like when I started training. And I felt pretty awesome about having gotten this far. A boost to my self-esteem, more matches on Tinder. Okay, maybe not that many more, but it seemed intuitive that if I felt this good about the progress I had made, I would only continue to look and feel better if I continued to work hard and see improvement. But what actually happened led me to feel the worst I have in a long time about how I looked, completely stagnate in my training, and for the first time ever, seriously consider taking performance-enhancing drugs. This is everything I learned about trying to get shredded and why I eventually decided to give it up.
So I think it's fair to say you have edited hundreds of shirtless photos of me at this point?
There's probably a less strange way to say that, but sure.
Because I want to know, how have I changed in like the last 6 months to a year? How do I usually react when you show me these photos?
Oh, dude, it's brutal. Anytime I show you an image, if it is not the picture-perfect, magazine-ready figure, then it's just criticized absurdly. Why don't I have abs? There's too much belly fat. My love handles are too big. All these little things that if it's not like the perfect male physique, then it's just not good enough.
If the physique I had was 90% of what I wanted, trying to improve from here meant I was focusing a lot more on that remaining 10%. When I looked at my progress photos, I had good definition through my upper abs, but my lower abs weren't quite visible yet. And in my side profile, I could see this small pouch of fat that kept me from having that flat washboard look I was trying to reach. So if I want that fully defined six-pack I had seen other creators achieve, then my next goal became to get below the 12% body fat threshold, and then I should really start to see that visible definition through my lower abs. And as I began to work towards this new goal, every check-in involved fixating on these small areas where my body was still holding on to fat, shifting my attention away from everything I was happy with and zeroing in on these one or two places I still wanted to improve. When I looked at my progress photos after doing the recomposition, I'm actually paying attention to all the improvement I've made through my shoulders, the definition on my back, and I'm comparing myself to where I was when I started out. Trying to get shredded shifted my focus away from all the things I liked about myself and turned those remaining areas into a moving target that I never felt like I was actually hitting. At the same time, it became more and more difficult to continue losing fat. Early on in my fitness journey, it was easy to track my body fat and see it drop as quickly as 2 to 3% in a month, but as any new lifter has probably found out, those quick gains you make starting out become slower and slower the further you progress. Each time I would plateau, I would slightly decrease my daily calories or increase my training. Cheat meals got fewer and fewer, and with no one telling me about Coach Greg's cookbook,
Buy my freaking cookbook!
I was gradually making bigger sacrifices with my diet to continue seeing progress. At this point, I was maintaining the strictest diet yet, training 5 to 6 days a week while walking every morning and seeing my results move at the slowest pace yet. But eventually I did start to see my check-ins come in below 12%, at least according to my home scale, which admittedly is not a perfect system, but I did know I had shaved off 2 more pounds and it was time to take some new photos. And when I finally looked at these new photos, I got really pissed off.
The amount of detail that is required to go from, let's say, 15% body fat to less than 10 is far greater than 30% body fat to 20, right? And in that attention to detail, oftentimes we can lose out on a lot of other benefits, plainly, right?
This is Devin, and he is the second trainer I've worked with through Copilot, the sponsor of this video. I decided to show him my progress photos from last summer to get his advice and see what he thought.
I mean, I think you're in great shape, right? You're getting leaner and leaner as time rolled on. But when you start to notice those, I guess you can call them side effects of lower energy, of irritability, because you have to be so meticulous with nutrition and training and all those sort of things, I would say that's where it starts to enter that territory of a short-term project versus a long-term sustainable way of living.
Copilot is a one-on-one coaching experience that pairs you with a personal trainer to help you build consistent habits around exercise and nutrition. I love being able to get expert advice from Devin about anything from building muscle to burning fat or even reducing knee pain when I'm playing sports. And with all of it, Copilot's approach is always about helping you build habits that are healthy and sustainable. And the sustainable part is something I occasionally need to be reminded of. Copilot's habit-based approach is so effective that 75% of their members continue working out after their first 100 days, which makes training with Copilot 9 times more effective than taking on a training goal by yourself. So no matter where you're starting out in your fitness journey, I think Copilot is the perfect partner to help you build healthy habits you can sustain around your fitness. If you're interested in giving Copilot a try, you can hit the link in the description to sign up for a 14-day free trial. And if you're part of the first 50 people to sign up, you will also get a free Goal Guys and Copilot t-shirt as a special thank you gift. So sign up through the link below. And now, here are those progress photos I was so upset with. When I took these photos, I weighed 153 pounds at 5 foot 9 inches. And while I do think I'm a bit leaner with clear definition through my upper abs, the fat over my lower abs actually looked worse. And again, all of my training and diet have become micro-focused on this one area of my body. So it didn't matter what I looked like from here up. My focus was on the pouch of fat above my waist and why it wasn't going away. I had skipped out on dinners with friends, stopped adding milk to my coffee, and my bottom abs still were not visible. Even worse, when I compared myself to the various body fat reference photos to see if my measuring system was just way off, I could see countless examples of bodies that were 15 and 18% body fat, which had less definition than mine, but they didn't have these clear pockets of fat sitting over their waistline, which again, made me even more frustrated with the body I had and the way I looked. While each of us will hold fat differently than someone else, it seemed the most stubborn area of fat on my body was in the one place I didn't want it to be, which put me in a really frustrating situation. If I wanted to train my way to a visible six-pack, I would have to continue the gradual process of losing fat until I was probably under 150 pounds. But at that point, trying to keep losing weight was actually compromising other parts of my training and health. I had seen my lifts start to plateau as I got into the low 150s. And because I was so cautious of losing muscle mass while in a deficit, my cardio was limited to walking in the morning and doing 30 minutes of swimming twice a week, which meant when I actually tried to play a sport or go for a run with a friend, I was pretty much winded after 15 minutes. So I was getting weaker and slower the longer I fixated on trying to achieve this shredded aesthetic. But if I gave up now and started adding size back, it could be months before I was lean enough to try again. Or I could go with the third option and jump on the computer and start Googling. If I wasn't seeing the results I wanted training naturally, then my curiosity became, what could I get if I added just a little bit of sauce? Could I avoid stringing out as much through my neck and shoulders while working toward my six-pack? Because as much as I wanted visible abs, I didn't want the trade-off of giving up size to get them. I should be clear, I don't have any problems with adults taking PEDs if they're doing it in a safe and responsible way, and definitely not telling people they're natural to pump up their business, but that's another topic. Anyway, as I was browsing the articles and forums evaluating what would be a safe and effective supplement, I realized just how far my perspective had shifted from trying to improve and maintain healthy habits to getting ready to spend hundreds of dollars on unregulated supplements, all because I only achieved 90% of the aesthetic I was hoping for. I had gone from being thrilled with the progress I had made to absolutely miserable, and now considering if I should take PEDs to achieve a physique that I perceived as being fit and healthy, all while compromising on multiple areas of my actual health and fitness. And it turns out my experience isn't all that unique, as even the creators I was comparing my own progress against, many of them have their own stories of experiencing sleep loss, drops in testosterone, and even a pervasive feeling of hunger while they're maintaining this shredded aesthetic. None of this is to persuade you against setting your own goal of achieving a lean or even shredded physique. But in my experience, it's better to look at these aesthetics more as something that's achieved for a moment rather than something that's meant to be sustained year-round.
Especially what we see in media, especially movies and pop culture, where they're trying to like peak for a certain moment or a certain shot. It's easy to misinterpret that as just like, oh, this is just how they look like all the time.
Even when I look at my own recomposition footage, this was shot in soft lighting after I had finished a workout and before I had eaten any meals. So even I didn't look exactly like my photos by the end of the day. So rather than striving to achieve a constantly shredded look, I realized I'm much happier trying to stay in a 13 to 15% body fat range, where I feel stronger and have more energy that I can put into other goals that have helped me get back to a place where I feel excited about training and am satisfied by the experience, and that's ultimately where I want to be. I want to thank Copilot again for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching it. If you've had a similar experience with your own training, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.